guys, and welcome to Bomb Anime. It's your girl,
Rika.
And Big Boy Simon here, bringing you a part 2 of Hot or Not.
Welcome to this episode of Hot or Not Part 2. Today, HANEBADO is in the hot seat again. We've already judged the first episode and binged the entire season. Is this anime certified hot or just a waste of time?
Just like always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. You know what it is. Let's get right into it.
First things first, I'm sorry, I know I said this in the first episode, but it didn't change much. The list of names was just too damn much.
Spoiler alert, most of those names didn't really mean anything.
Exactly, like this whole season was only about Ayano and Aragaki.
You're forgetting about Rico and Elena as well.
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Everybody else was a side character.
I want to argue, I cannot. I want to talk about Aragaki. To me, she was the most important character this whole season of HANEBADO. She overcame a few things. She learned a few things about herself, and she became better for it. And it's a great, uplifting, heartfelt story. And she should have ended up with the girl in the end. I'm just saying, that's the way that the anime was gearing me towards.
I know, but like I said in our episode of, I think it was Pet, a lot of the times they don't really show those kinds of relationships. If anything, it's just alluded to, or it's straight up deviant.
Yeah, that's true.
Not all. There are a couple out there that are, this was like a coming of age story. That's how I looked at it. I kind of wish it wasn't so focused on badminton. I know that it's about badminton, but I felt like even any issue that was had for any of the characters came right back to badminton. I get it, like, you're really loving badminton, but every single issue you have comes back to badminton. Even somehow your mom abandoning you is somehow just about badminton.
We settled this on the court.
No, that makes sense.
The court was life to these guys. Like, literally, I saw it a bit differently. When you're up there competitively, that thing is everything. Even Ayano's mom said it. There's something special about being at that kind of level that other people just won't understand. And I guess you're one of them people who just don't understand, Ruka.
Well, if Ayano's mom is like the level of anything, I'm happy to not be there. That woman was trash.
I guess we're talking about Ayano's mom now. What you say about her mama?
She had a mama. I didn't see one.
Oh, you're so deep. It's true though.
She had a birth giver.
Normally this kind of speech is for those wayward fathers, but she was a wayward mom.
No, mom can be trash too.
What person, male or female, doesn't matter, abandons their kid for so many years and their excuse is, I wanted them to get good at this sport.
I have so much to say and not much is positive. Her mom leaves, doesn't come back for all these years, and then just reappears, has no apology, no remorse, and then she's just like, oh, let's be a family with the new daughter I actually raised, I actually gave a F about. What kind of mess is that? So you couldn't raise your own child because her love for badminton was about you, but you can raise someone else's child for her entire life and leave this child without a mom or a dad?
Short answer, yes. Long answer, yes. You ain't got your daughter on speed dial, but you got Connie on speed dial, fam. You're having messages and phone calls at the night with the other girl who ain't your flesh and blood. Never saw her pick up the phone to talk to her daughter once before she popped up.
She didn't. She wasn't in contact with her. She completely abandoned this child and just left and started a whole new life. And then she thought she could just pop up and just say, oh, leave your whole life and come with me, someone who you don't damn know. Because let's be honest, that mother is a stranger. Stranger danger, kids. Stranger danger.
Okay.
No, jokes aside, she is a stranger. She does not know her child. And Ayano does not know her.
Yeah?
You messed her up. Totally messed her up. Like, look, the girl didn't even know whether she was coming or going this whole time. Like, she only figured out who she was in the last bit. And no thanks to this mother figure.
Hold. Just to be fair, her not being there got her to this conclusion. Who knows what would have happened if she was actually there? We don't know. All we know is that a good outcome came of her decision to leave her child.
Yeah, this is how bad parents justify how terrible they are.
Whoa, slow down.
Taking credit for all the good things that you do And anything that's bad and left over, that's all you. That's all on you. Told you it wasn't positive.
I'm not gonna lie. He's a grade A, like grade A dirtbag. Forget the fact that you left your daughter with scars, with abandonment issues, with neglect issues, with 2 old people who probably could have run around with her. And this is an active child, by the way, because you raised her that way. Once you come back, you expect her to fall in line and you don't show no remorse for your actions. I know Ruka already said this, but god damn, really, woman? Your own kid? Really? And then you're bouncing. It's not like you came to stay and be a stable figure in your daughter's life. You didn't even try to do that, fam. You are bouncing and you're saying, come with me. Is that the kind of thing that a high schooler needs? A first year? To be bouncing around the world when she just got friends and just got stable? You need to take a hard look at yourself and go on Dr. Phil because you need help.
When Ayana's mum came back, the thing that actually pissed me off the most, because this actually pissed me off, it actually made me mad. So I guess the anime did something good because it elicited an emotion from me, a strong one.
Wow.
I was thinking she came back. Not only was she doing all the things that you just said, but she also felt a sense of superiority that she could then decide whether Ayano was doing it for the right reasons or not. Like, who the hell are you? Seriously, who are you?
Her mum.
Who?
Ooh, savage. So, okay, you're right. Who the hell are you to be deciding what's good for your daughter now when you couldn't be there for her in the beginning? And grandma, like, no offense, I love grandma. She raised a child, like, don't get me wrong. But grandma, you're enabling, fam, because you should have told your daughter off for this stupid actions, fam. And you too, granddad. Both the grandparents were wrong for like being like, oh, you two still aren't talking. Like, where was the anger? Where was the hostility? Is it because she's paying for that nice house that you live in? That really, really nice house?
I am not saying that the grandparents are wrong. How can you blame the people that stayed? The people that actually raised her, the people that actually tried to give her a good home. And they were saying to her, look, you need to come home and look after your child. And what did this deadbeat do? Run off again? To her real daughter, apparently.
Look, I'm not saying that it's their fault. What I'm saying is, I could have seen a little bit more anger. Like, it would have been more realistic in the story.
All I'm saying is the only thing realistic about this anime was the actual badminton matches, so kudos to that.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
the rest of this wasn't very realistic. I found that the issues were flat. And I think it is because they just kept trying to bring it back to badminton. Like, every conflict that happened was because of badminton somehow, and that's just not realistic for these people. And I think that's why so many of the characters came across as just side pieces. They didn't concentrate really on anyone because it was so focused on showing us a badminton game. And yeah, that's really well and good. Thank you for showing us that. But at the end of the day, if I did want to just watch badminton all day long, I would have just gone and watched badminton, you know, with people. What?
I'm just speechless because I agree. It's very rare for me to agree on how badly characterization was done in anything, fiction, whatever. Not just anime, because it's very hard to mess up characterization and get it to an editor, a publisher, and out there. Do you get what I mean? It's not easy. You can either be normal or great. Do you get what I mean? Or somewhere in between. But you can't be rubbish, because people have sat down and watched this and been like, oh yes, okay, let's get that through.
And I feel like if you're gonna watch this, you could really realistically watch episode 1 and then watch episode 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 and just be done with it, because that's really the season. Nothing really started to happen until like episode 10. But you want episode 1 for the backstory of the abandonment. I feel like they just lost so many opportunities to do something more. It wasn't that all the characters were really bad. Like, I think like with Karuko, they could have done more with her character. I felt like her character seemed like quite strong. That if they had just given her more, you could have had a proper character. Like, she appeared so much and you got bits of her personality, but just nothing was ever done with her. Elena was a really nice character, but they just missed all these points to do anything with them. And even Connie, they could have definitely shown us why she was so hard and why her sudden change to wanting to be a family. It made no sense. All of a sudden she wants to be a family with Ayano, where she came here saying that Ayano's friendship was just an act.
Look, you're right, especially with the whole Connie situation. That 180 threw me for a loop. There was no consistency there. And Elena, yeah, you were great for like 4 episodes. Then you took a backseat until, what, episode 12?
So it's like she had no life outside of Ayano. Elena could have been so much more. A lot of these characters could have been so much more, and they just did nothing with them. I'm going to say 2 things. The first one is going to be the most disappointing aspect of this for me. And the second thing is going to be something I was completely wrong about the first episode that we did. Thing number 1, I saw clips for this anime and I was like, this is going to be a badass anime. I was excited. Like the clip with Ayano on the stairwell.
Yeah.
With the handkerchief. I saw that clip and I was like, oh my God. But then when I actually watched the whole episode in its entirety, it's like it managed to make the clip sort of go limp. Second thing is my critique of Aragaki. I was really hard on her character. I was like, she's so nasty, she's mean. But her character had so much growth throughout the whole season. And it was done in a very realistic way. She came a really long way. She, like you were saying earlier on, she found out so many different things about herself. And her story was the most, the closest to the coming of age story, you know?
Yeah.
You go through all these things and she became so much more than she was.
I think with the Aragaki story, I think my favourite bit of her story as a whole was where her and Tachibana was talking and Tachibana was like, I get it. I get where you're coming from. You're tall, so people just assume you're just good at this, but they don't realise that you're actually working hard to just stay nimble. I really like that.
But there was another flashback later on in the season and it seemed like they forgot that whole bit that they did. And then you had loads of people around her saying, oh wow, she works so hard. She works harder than everybody. Oh wow. And I was just thinking, did you forget what the point was in the beginning, what you said? It lacked a bit of consistency, but at the same time, overall, if I just overlook that and pretend that I didn't notice it, but I did. If I just pretend that I didn't notice it, then I can say, okay.
It's cool, I overlooked it too. I'm overlooking it now.
I did really end up liking Aragaki in the end. I really did like her character. I could understand where she was coming from.
Yeah.
And just the battle was more really with herself.
Yeah.
And she even realized that and she was like, do you know what? If I try hard with the psychology of it all, with my hard work, I can really be something great. And she did prove it to everyone, even with her leg, her knee injured. She still kept pushing, and that was really good. And that was the most sportsman-like thing that I think I really saw.
I disagree with the sportsman thing. The rest of it, yeah, bang on. I think the most sportsman thing I saw in this whole anime was how mean they were to each other. Like how they were trying to get under each other's skins. As I said, I used to play basketball, and like you'd hear some cusses on the court about people's mums, all sorts, just so that they can get to you. And I really like that aspect of the show.
I really didn't like how nothing was resolved at all, even with the mother situation. Like I said, there was no sorry, there was no real anything, and then Ayano was just like, yay, I'm gonna stay here. Like, it just was so far from reality. For a plot point that they dragged from episode 1 all the way to the end, I really would expect something else, like something more. It really sucked. Just to put it mildly, that bit really sucked. But I did like how Ayano did figure out things about herself as well and came to a certain level of peace with herself, and that her and Aragaki actually bonded in a real way. But it was through that last match with each other where they actually saw each other for who they were and accepted each other and acknowledged each other. That was a really nice ending, I thought. Let's be real, what did you think?
Well, okay, would I watch an anime like this again? Probably. Would I watch this if I had the choice rather than because I did the hot or not? No. Did I enjoy my experience? There were times I did, but really overall, it's a not for me.
I would say that this was quite hard to binge. It wasn't really a bingeable anime. It's one of those that you should space out, watch one episode and give it a little bit of time. But of course, we're doing it for YouTube and we did say we'd binge it, so we did. It was not satisfactory to me. If I was watching this superficially and I was just watching it in the background, that's the kind of anime that I thought that this was. It's something that you put on in the background while you're doing something else. Okay guys, so when we did our first part, we both thought it was hot. I gave it 3 out of 5 and Big Boy Sama gave it 4 out of 5. And so it didn't hold up. Our verdict did not hold up. This was not hot. I'm sorry, it was not hot. It lost all its potential. Just like a balloon, it deflated.
I think what Ruka's trying to say is that this is a waste of time. Don't do it to yourself.
So let us know, what do you think? Do you agree with our final verdict? Let us know in the comments and don't forget to like, subscribe and share.
Peace.